Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we're diving into the quintessential guide for anyone with a passion for the written word, On Writing Well, by the esteemed William Zinsser. This classic handbook, first published in 1976, distills the wisdom of Zinsser's acclaimed writing course at Yale University, offering a foundation in the principles of crafting clear and effective nonfiction prose. It's a warm and encouraging companion for writers at all levels, brimming with astute insights on how to refine your writing style and communicate more powerfully. William Zinsser, a masterful journalist and essayist, authored a total of 19 books across a spectrum of subjects, but it is his expertise in the art of writing that has left an indelible mark. As the former head of Yale's prestigious writing workshop, Zinsser's insights have shaped the practices of countless writers. His insightful texts like On Writing Well and Writing to Learn are celebrated for their enduring influence and practical value in the field of writing. This episode is for you if you're a budding writer intimidated by the blank page, a storyteller eager to tighten your narrative technique, or a professional who recognizes the irrefutable importance of well-crafted communication. Tune in as we unpack the timeless lessons from On Writing Well and learn how to let your writing shine with clarity and strength. On Writing Well, the classic guide to writing nonfiction. Introduction. Unlock the writer within, mastering the art of prolific writing. Picture yourself facing the dreaded writer's block, that moment when even the blinking cursor seems to taunt your creative paralysis. Or perhaps it's the mere thought of translating the maelstrom of ideas swirling in your head onto paper that has you dodging the task altogether in favor of endless procrastination. Fear of writing. It's a common plight, but it needn't be a perpetual one. For those yearning to break free from the shackles of hesitation and self-doubt, this summary shines a light on the path to writing with clarity, power, and pleasure. Whether it's the novel you've dreamt of penning, insightful essays, or simply captivating blog posts, the secret to effective writing is within grasp. In our narrative journey, we will delve into the essence of what makes writing truly exceptional, techniques for crafting engaging beginnings and satisfying endings, and the pivotal role joy plays in the process of writing. Turn the page and begin your writing. Adventure great writing is less about innate talent and more about mastering a set of skills. One of these is the ability to captivate your reader from the get-go. An intriguing opening is like a key, unlocking your reader's attention and beckoning them to step into the world you've created with words. Equally important is how you conclude your piece. A memorable ending can leave a lasting impression, turning a casual reader into a devoted fan. It's the echo of your writing voice that lingers long after the last word has been read. The joy of writing, a foundation for excellence. However, at the heart of all writing is enjoyment. Your enjoyment. When you delight in the act of writing, your words not only flow more freely but also carry the vibrancy of your passion. This joy is infectious, spilling over to your reader and transforming the reading experience into one that truly resonates. Let's embark on this storytelling voyage together as we unpack the wisdom of On Writing Well, transforming the blank page before you into a canvas brimming with the color of your thoughts, beautifully expressed and deeply felt. Join us as we traverse the landscape of language and unlock the full spectrum of your writing potential. Part 1. Embrace the art of simplicity in your writing. Eager to uncover the golden ticket that will unlock the gates to the realm of eloquent, masterful writing? Hold on, let's dial that back a notch. Are you ready to learn the secret to writing well? It's simple, quite literally. The guiding principle is, to write well, aim for simplicity. Emerging writers often fall into the trap of wanting to wow their audience with high-flying vocabulary and complex constructions. They pack their sentences with more clauses than a Santa convention, lading their nouns with adjectives and coupling their verbs with a surplus of adverbs. but this strategy often leads to prose so dense that readers need a machete to hack through the jungle of words. In writing, there's a certain magic in brevity and clarity. To craft prose that sings, you need to pare down your sentences to their essence. When in doubt, chop it out. Trade lengthy words for their shorter siblings. Aim for uncluttered constructions. It sounds straightforward, doesn't it? But there's a catch. The clarity of your writing reflects the clarity of your thoughts. To achieve such clarity, one must declutter the mind. Many a muddled argument has been buried under a load of technical jargon and meandering prose. Just listen to any politician. But when your writing is crystal clear and well-reasoned, there's nowhere for vagueness to hide. A writer seeking simplicity must continually ask, what is my core message? Pinning this down can be elusive, especially if the idea is still taking shape in the writer's mind. After writing, the critical follow-up question is, did I effectively communicate what I intended? The next step is a relentless purge, to eliminate every word, every phrase, that is not essential or does not enhance the message. What counts as clutter? Any word or term that is not needed. Consider these examples. Look at prepositions, for instance. Facing a challenge sounds better without the fluff. Why say face up to a challenge? And let's talk adjectives. Why refer to someone as a personal acquaintance, when acquaintance alone implies a personal connection? Editing ought to target verbose expressions as well. While jargon may rule the roost in corporate halls, why say currently, at the present time, or at this juncture, when now cuts to the chase? Crafting an easy-to-read sentence is no small feat, but with dedication, reflection, and repeated practice, you can master the art of simplicity in writing. Part 2. Your writing style. The quest for authenticity. You've mastered the art of simplicity in writing. But what you're thirsting for is not just good writing, but the beacon of all prose, great writing. You're chasing after that elusive sprinkle of style, the kind that graces sentences with wit and dresses concepts in elegance. Consider writing as akin to constructing a house. Indeed, the stylish embellishments, the vibrant splash of paint or the ornate woodwork capture the eye. However, these aesthetic details count for naught without a solid foundation. If your grasp of writing fundamentals is shaky, no flourish of style can stabilize your literary edifice. Once you've honed the skill of clear and simple writing, it's time to turn your gaze to style. The key message here is, the secret to writing with style lies in unveiling your unique voice. Style in writing mirrors. Style in fashion. Authenticity rules supreme. Just as you might sift through numerous outfits to find the ones that truly represent you, locating your distinct writing style could involve some experimentation. The path to discovering your style starts with unfettered writing. Do not be paralyzed by the blank page, preoccupied with notions of grandeur. Such pressure tends to stifle. Style emerges more naturally from a relaxed state of mind. So, begin. Let your words tumble onto the page, sentence by sentence, unburdened by expectation. Your initial attempts may come across as awkward, as if composed by a nascent AI program, yet persistence is key. Persist, and soon enough you'll begin to hit your stride. You'll swap the pursuit of impressing for the pursuit of expressing, tapping into the genuine cadences of your voice. A helpful hint to unlock this natural rhythm is writing in the first person. It's often when you're stating, I think, I feel, or I believe, that your voice flows most authentically. Naturally, there are contexts where the first person is less suitable, such as academic essays or certain types of formal reporting. But in many other formats, from blog posts to internal memos, the first person can be liberating. Foster this natural voice in your writing, and your style will not just appear, it will flourish, imbued with the unmistakable signature of your personality. Part 3. Choose your words as a painter chooses colors. The craftsman knows the importance of selecting the right tool for every task. You wouldn't attempt to carve a sculpture with a butter knife, nor paint a masterpiece with a broom. Similarly, in the craft of writing, words are the tools that bring your vision to life on the canvas of the reader's mind. To write effectively, you must wield words with precision and intention. But isn't it obvious, you might ask, to choose words carefully when writing? Yet, take a glance at any publication and you're likely to find language cluttered with tired expressions, worn-out clichés, and misapplied terminology. Let's dive into the key insight. Words are a writer's instruments, and selection should be undertaken with utmost care. First and foremost, eschew cliché like you would avoid a pothole on a smooth road. Phrases that once sparkled with novelty, such as a diamond in the rough or as old as the hills, have been dulled by overuse. To a reader's discerning eyes, clichés signal a trek down a beaten path, lacking in surprises and devoid of the delight of the unexpected. But how, then, does one infuse variety into their prose while avoiding clichés? The answer lies at your fingertips, the thesaurus. This treasure trove can transform pale into waxen or spectral. Caution is key, though. Don't select synonyms for their pomposity. Choose them instead for how precisely they paint the picture you intend to portray. Seek variety, yes, but always in service of precision. Also remember that words are the beats to the rhythm of your sentences. Even in an age where text is silently consumed, the silent reader still hears your writing. Writing is a reverberation of sound in the reader's mind. So, after you've crafted a sentence, read it aloud. Refine it, not just for meaning, but for its tone, its melody, its resounding impact. In your lexicon toolkit, beware of embracing contemporary buzzwords and jargon indiscriminately. That's not to say new additions to language, neologisms, are unwelcome. Language vibrates to the pulse of time, and neologisms can instill a fresh vitality within it. The test for adopting a neologism is its utility. Does it fill a genuine void in the lexicon? Consider words like multitask or laptop, which began as neologisms but secured their spot in everyday vocabulary by serving an unaddressed need. However, a writer must be vigilant against the allure of fashionable terms that may be in vogue yet lack necessity. Take impact, for instance. It's frequently used, but often affect will do the job just as well, if not better. In the end, whether you're choosing words or welding phrases, it's about the fit, finding that perfect word that perfectly executes the job at hand. Paint your narrative with words chosen not for their grandeur, but for their ability to convey your intended hue with fidelity and grace. Part 4. Maintain focus and harmony in your writing. Envision a fledgling writer eager to recount the enchanting tale of a recent amorous sojourn to Italy with her beloved. The scrumptious pizzas, the delectable pastas, the iconic lean of the Tower of Pisa. The elements of an enthralling narrative seem to be present. How can she veer off course? Her narrative launches with an infectious charm, detailing the thrills and mishaps of travel with spirited glee. Yet, just as we settle into the narrative, the tone takes an abrupt detour. Suddenly we are awash in sea of statistics, more fitting for an academic journal than a playful recount. Following, we are whisked into a travelogue segment suited for a guidebook. Each segment alone might hold merits, yet together they jar against each other, leaving readers adrift in a muddle of mismatched intentions. The core insight to be gleaned here is: maintain focus and harmony throughout your writing. Achieving this requires a foundation built upon solid answers to fundamental questions. Who are you conversing with through your words? Is your audience the general public or a specialized group enamored by a particular subject? What's your manner of engaging with this audience? Will you don a formal attire in your language, or is a casual, conversational tone more fitting? Are you crafting sentences laced with wit, irony, or poetic flair? Are your stories told through the lens of the past or the immediacy of the present? Do you invite readers into your personal experiences in the first person? Or do you relate events from an external viewpoint in the third person? What is the cornerstone your narrative is built around? If you traverse the realm of birdwatching, is your focus the solidarity amongst enthusiasts, the intricacies of migration, or perhaps the sobering realities of habitat loss? The art of specificity is invaluable here, as it acts as your guide, ensuring that irrelevant or distracting content is pruned before it can sprout within your work. Consider also the breadth of your landscape. Constraining your narrative's scope can render your writing more taut and resonant. Take, for instance, Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Though an odyssey across oceans wide and deep, it is the focused chase between a solitary man and a singular whale that keeps its currents aligned. Once you've charted your course with these bearings in mind, maintain a steadfast adherence. Resist the tilt to shift perspectives or to oscillate between differing voices as your piece progresses. Remember, flexibility within this framework is not forbidden. Often, it is in the cauldron of creativity that you might discern a different tense to be more suited, or a different format to be more compelling. Alter your course if the winds demand it, but once you establish your new trajectory, let consistency be your compass. In writing as in music, the symphony is only as enchanting as its harmonious execution. So, make your selections with careful consideration, and let them resonate consistently throughout your creative opus. Part 5. The impact of powerful beginnings and endings in writing. Imagine stepping onto a stage. The spotlight hits, the audience leans forward. You have mere moments to capture their attention before they decide to stay for the show or head for the exits. This is the dramatic reality of a writer confronting the opening lines of a piece. Forge an indelible first impression, and your readers are yours for the duration. And it's not just about starting strong, but also leaving your audience with a lingering aftertaste that ensures your writing isn't easily forgotten. The essence of this lesson? If you want to ensnare your readers' attention, craft your openings and closings with precision and flair. Everything hinges on what writers call the lead, the inaugural passage that sets the stage for your narrative. You may opt for a zesty one-liner that reels in your reader, or a subtly unfolding paragraph that builds a compelling intrigue. Regardless of approach, your opening must signal to the reader that there's something valuable, something inevitably worthy for them within your words. Identify the crown jewel of your content. Is it a cogent argument that rearranges traditional thought patterns, a fresh perspective ripe with revelations, or perhaps the scintillating elegance of your language? Maybe it's the allure of a mystery, the warmth of humor, or the charm of a paradox. This gem should shine brightly in your preamble. Take, for instance, the expertise of William Zinsser, author of How to Write Well, in his article, Block That Chicken Footer. By opening with, "I've often wondered what goes into a hot dog. Now I know and I wish I didn't," he deftly employs humor, piques curiosity, and teases a revelation, practically daring the reader not to proceed. Your following paragraphs should serve as stepping stones, each adding layers of complexity and shading to the picture you've begun to paint. Skillful writers treat the final sentence of each paragraph with particular reverence. A well-crafted closing line should propel the reader forward like a subtle nudge, urging them down the path of your narrative. When the curtain begins to descend on your writing, resist the temptation to belabor your point. Summarizing has its place, but a drawn-out conclusion can dampen the impact of an otherwise incisive piece. Rather, seek that opportune moment to make your exit, one where your core message has been delivered and resonates. Readers should be left with a lasting echo, a reason to ponder or revisit your words long after the final punctuation mark. Part 6. The Fine Art of Writing. Refine your craft and bypass common errors. The mystique of the writer often presents them as a solitary wanderer, an unfettered spirit who channels muses amidst the allure of cafe ambiance and the romance of cobblestone streets. This charming image, however, is mere myth. In truth, adept writers are meticulous artisans, honing their craft not through fits of fancy, but through concerted and deliberate refinement of their text. The paramount lesson for dedicated writers is this: mastery in writing is achieved through careful editing and steering clear of frequent missteps. Polishing prose is an endeavor of dedication. To embark on this journey is to commit to the painstaking sculpting of words and sentences. Heed these caution signs along the path to writerly prowess. Prioritize the active over the passive voice. There's a stark difference between Harry closed the window and the window was closed by Harry. The former is sharp, direct, the latter a shadow of its potential. Verbs are the muscular heart of your sentences, so let them flex. A verb should not merely suggest action, it should animate your narrative. Choose verbs with vigor and precision. Why content yourself with appeared when materialized might captivate your reader? Meanwhile, adverbs, those modifiers often ending in lie, frequently intrude where they're unwelcome. Consider the redundancy in, she whispered quietly. Whispering by its nature embodies quietude. The adverb is mere clutter. Adjectives, too, can be habitual offenders of overuse. Nouns carry their own weight, their own resonant tones. A steep cliff or brown dirt might border on the tautological. Reserve your adjectives for moments when they illuminate something unexpected, like red dirt, signifying a hue not inherent in the concept of dirt itself. An occasional adjective, used judiciously, can be powerful. Scarcity creates impact. Beware also of qualifiers, those diluted turns of phrase like a little, quite, or sort of. To describe something as fairly tall is to hover in ambiguity. Precision in language is precision in thought. And then, once you've laid down your initial prose, take up the writer's quintessential tool: revision. Write, then rewrite. Even for the seasoned scribe, the first draft is but a rough-hewn stone. The art lies in the successive chiseling away, the relentless pursuit of clarity, rhythm, and nuance. Make it a hallmark of your practice, as unyielding as the laws of grammar, to revisit and refine your work relentlessly. It is through this labor of love that the writer's true skill is forged, in the crucible of revision, where the prose is polished until it gleams. Part 7. Ignite your passion for writing and ignite your reader's interest. So, what will it be? The reassuring or the daunting? Here's the light at the end of the tunnel. By absorbing a wealth of literature, prioritizing lucidity and coherence in your prose, and sidestepping the common pitfalls of writing, you'll undoubtedly master the skill of crafting competent prose. And now, the shadow within that light. Without a confident spark igniting your writing endeavors, your skills, however polished, may fall flat. Lack of enjoyment in the act of writing is a silent assassin to inspiration. Thus, we arrive at a pivotal understanding. To kindle a flame in your reader, first fan the fire within yourself. Writers often face an uphill battle, thanks to systems of education that instill more dread than delight for the written word. Writing for fulfillment, rather than performance, is a concept bogged down by the ghosts of red marks on school papers and stringent rubrics. This can lead to an intimidated gaze at a menacingly empty page. But despair not, for you can rewrite this narrative. It's never too late to rediscover the joy of writing, to treat it as a dance rather than a march. Like all creative ventures, the path is not without its brambles. Even literary greats such as Toni Morrison and Hunter S. Thompson grappled to find fluidity in their prose. Wrestle through those moments of hesitance or writer's block, and the rhythmic pulse of your writing will soon reveal itself. Life's multitude of experiences serves as the wellspring of stirring literature. Embrace life with a heart open to adventure and wonder, and a myriad of stories will weave themselves into your being, clamoring to be told. The colorful characters you encounter will infuse your writing with an authentic zest, igniting narratives rich with humanity. For writing to transcend the page, the writer must wade deep into the waters of fascination, plumbing the depths of even the most obscure interests. Whether it's the intricate journey of caterpillars or an arcane historical footnote, envelop yourself in the subject. The fervor with which you explore your topic will be the contagion that captures your reader. Of course, not every writing task will spark an immediate blaze of passion. When faced with such assignments, mine for a thread that resonates with your own curiosity. Connection is everything. Whether it's the complexities of economic theory or the rhythmic soul of music, if the subject resonates with you, that resonance will ripple through your words and into the reader's consciousness. While delight in every grammatical choice and stylistic flourish is not guaranteed, fostering enjoyment in the broader writing process is vital. By anchoring fulfillment in the act of writing itself, your text will not only reflect competence but also beam with the unmistakable glow of inspiration. Part 8. Writing is a journey, not just a destination. You're perched at your desk, brimming with an idea that's been brewing in the recesses of your mind, ripe and ready to spill onto the blank page. Yet, as you take a tentative stride into the world of words, you find yourself pulled forward. Not by the narrative that asks to be written, but by daydreams of your book's cover gleaming under bookstore spotlights, by the chorus of critics hailing your work, by the gratitude you'll pour into acknowledgments. In this reverie, your idea remains just that, an idea, while the actual manuscript languishes in oblivion. Allow this to be your guiding mantra. Focus on the writing, voyage more than the voyage's end. Being preoccupied with the final masterpiece means losing sight of the hurdles and twists that line the path to creation. Remember, the text that eventually takes shape will often diverge wildly from the initial image you held. Fixation on a preconceived notion can blind you to the story's natural evolution. Take, for instance, the pitfall of fastening too soon onto a concept. Envision crafting a narrative on the fading heartbeat of traditional agriculture in Wyoming. As an overarching theme, it has merit. But does it pulse with the lifeblood of a story? It might not. At least, not until it's pruned down to a finer focus. Picture narrowing the vista to a solitary town, or better yet, a singular farm, a single family whose personal saga casts shadows on broader agricultural shifts. Yet to reach this heartland, you must permit your original idea the freedom to transform, again and again. This principle of flexibility applies universally, whether you're contemplating the structure, voice, or approach. Clinging to the embryo of an idea may well cloak its true potential. Allow the initial profile or essay to morph. Let it stumble, let it breathe, until it matures into the narrative you're compelled to share. The crafting of words, sentences, paragraphs, this mosaic making is as precious as the tableau it creates. It's the alchemy of writing that should enrapture you, not just the allure of the end. Embrace the labyrinthine journey. It's in the meandering exploration that your skills as a writer will flourish most profoundly. Lean into the process, savor its twists and trials, and in doing so, you'll emerge not merely as a writer with a finished product, but as a storyteller enriched by the Odyssey. Final summary. If there's a takeaway to be etched into the mind of every aspiring writer, it's this. The ability to craft compelling prose is within reach of us all. The pillars supporting the edifice of great writing are straightforward, yet potent. Start with simplicity, the bedrock upon which clear and communicative writing is constructed. Embellishments have their place, but it's the unadorned sentence that often carries the most power. Coupled with simplicity is the search for one's authentic voice, a quest that can be both daunting and deeply personal. The writer's true voice, once found, resonates through their work, making each piece unmistakably their own. But it's not just about what you say. It's also about shedding excess to shape your message with clarity. meticulously comb through your writing, weeding out the prose's deadwood, from superfluous adverbs to cliches that have lost their sparkle. This commitment to pruning ensures that each word serves a purpose, each sentence advances the story, and every paragraph contributes to the larger narrative. By embracing these fundamental truths, simplicity in structure, authenticity in voice, and precision in language, you equip yourself with the tools not just for good writing, but for writing that leaves an indelible mark on the reader. Remember, anyone can write well, and with these principles as your compass, you're set to navigate the vast seas of writing with confidence and skill. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.